Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Tahir. This is Inspired RC, and you can see there we've got the ESC KRATON on the bench. On the last bash, the fan started making a bit of noise, so I suspected that the fan's blade is probably broken on it. Now I have been looking online to see if there's a replacement. There isn't a particular smart spectrum replacement fan available, so before I try and look at an alternative, I want to see if I can repair the fan that I have on there. So guys, I'm going to quickly show you how to get to the fan, and then we're going to see how we can repair it, and hopefully the repair should last me as well, and we'll give it a test as well. So let's get you a bit closer. There we go. Okay, so I've already started taking some screws out and stuff just to make it a bit quicker for us. So on the fan itself, it's got 4 screws, 1 there, 2, 3 and 4. Take them 4 screws out. Let me just get you a bit closer so you can see. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you've removed them screws, put them somewhere safe in a plastic container. Next, we need to remove all the plugs for the motor. So we've got 3 plugs there. So what I do with this is I pull it out. So this one I'll pop down here because I know that won't go on back into that socket there. I'll pull the middle one out. These can be a bit tight, guys, so you might need to tug on them. I'm going to leave the middle one just here. I'm going to pull the last one out. And I'm just going to pop it on the end there. So when I come to putting this back, I know which one will go back into where. So that's number 1, that's number 2, and that's number 3. According. Once you've done that, you need to unplug the fan motor from the ESC. So it's just there. Just a tug on that, guys. Once you've removed that, this whole section at the top will become loose. Then what you can do is you probably need to remove some more bits from there if you need to get to it, but this is enough for us now. We can just lift this up and pull the fan out from underneath it. The fan should be loose. There we go. So the problem that you'll have here is you may be able to slide this back out again. Yeah, you may be able to slide this back out again and then get it out, but because I've got this one on here as well, it might be a bit difficult for me. So for now, we're just going to look at it from here. So just show you on a brighter background, you can see there's a fan blade missing there, guys. So I have already got the fan blade. Don't know how well you can see that. There's the fan blade there, guys. So what I'm going to tend to do is I'm going to try and glue this back on, probably try and use some arrow dye, and then what I'll do is also go around and reinforce the blades that are on there as well. As I said, I was looking to buy another fan, but I couldn't find the exact one from Spectrum, so it would have to be a replacement. On this side here, you can get these fans, so that's not a problem. If you do break any blades on there, you can just replace them. But on this one here, you want to really try and help basically make it so these blades don't break. So I'm going to just be putting some glue just where they attach the center bit there on all of them, and hopefully it should still work. Obviously we're going to have to test this because I've never done this before and I've not seen anyone else do it either, so we're going to have to give this a test and see whether that mod works. If it doesn't work, guys, it's not a lot of money, probably £10 to £15 for another fan, and just need to find the right size to put back in again. So guys, I'm going to get that done and I'll show you what I come up with. Guys, I just want to quickly show you how far I've got with this now. So I've put some arrow dye on every fan blade, and I'm going to be doing the same on the other side. And now I know it probably will add weight to it and it may make the fan struggle So if it does, then it's not a problem. We are going to replace it. This is the fan blade that was broken. It does look a bit messy. It took a few attempts, and I'm using some toothpicks just to hold it in place whilst it dries. And once it dries, we'll see if the fan does actually still turn with that on. If it doesn't, I'll just take it back off and just use the fan with one blade missing just for now until I get another complete fan for it. So yeah, I think everything's worth trying to fix once, and if you're not able to fix it, then you can just throw it away and then source a replacement for it. So let's leave that to dry, and I'll get back to you shortly once it's dried and see how it goes. Okay guys, we have used some araldite on this now, so if you can have a look there, just see on every fan blade I've just added some araldite, and then this one here is the one that actually broke. Now obviously it's a bit messy because it took a few attempts. It's quite a delicate operation guys, but I've done it on this side and then flipped it over, and I've done the same on the opposite side. I don't know how well you can see that. So you can see I've just added more glue on each end there, and that's the one that was broken. So I've added a bit more on that one as well. So we are now, I've temporarily connected everything back up, so the motor wires have gone back in again, the fan plug is back in again just there, and got a couple of batteries in there as well. So it is time to check it. It is now dry, so it's time to check and see whether this fan works. Turn the remote on. We'll just right guys, that seems to be working. Good result. Yeah, it probably is catching a little bit where I put with the broken fin back on again, but I think over time that should sort itself out because this is a plastic unit. So I'm really happy with that. That has now a complete fan working on the ESC, and the reason why I had to do this is because the car has got a 25 tooth pinion installed on it, so this ESC and the motor does tend to get a bit hot when you are running it quite fast, quite hard. So I need the ESC to be cooled to its optimum capability of cooling, and with one blade broken on there, it wasn't going to be optimum. So then I'd have to go around and make sure that this ESC is cooling down, or turn the car off and let it cool down. So guys, I'm happy with that. That's all working now. I'm going to stick it all back together again, just the way I told you how to take everything apart. So the 4 screws, put your fan back in. You got 4 screws on there, put them back in. Make sure your motor wires are all pushed in quite well, and then we're going to hopefully give it a test on the next bash. So we've got this all back installed. So the fan's back into its housing, it's back in the plastic casing that it comes in. The motor wires are all plugged in, and the ESC fan's plugged in as well, and so is the motor fan as well. So a couple of pointers. The fan itself, if it has moved in its casing when we're repairing it, it may not work. You need to push the fan back down so it's firmly back in with the motor. So that was one thing you need to look out for. The second thing is the plug for the fan has 3 terminals on it. Only 2 of the terminals are being used. One's got red wires going in it, the other one's got black wires going in it. So the red one is the positive, the black one is the negative. And on the casing for the fan itself, there's actually 2 symbols, and they're just right next to where the fan goes in. So there's a minus symbol there, and then a plus symbol next to it. So it shows you which way to put this plug back in. And it's the same process on this one here. You can see there's 3 terminals, 1, 2, and there's a third one that's empty. So you need to make sure that these 2 colours line up with the 2 colours that are coming out the other end. So that's the right way to put it in. I've also got a Murat RC LED light kit on there, so I've got one of these. So but for this test now, I just want to remove this out of the way. But all we do with this is take this plug out from here, plug this back in and plug that into the opposite, so it continues the loop basically, and then it takes the power from there. So that shouldn't be an issue. I'll get that done. So make sure your motor wires are all pushed in and there's no gold bit showing at all, and it's nice and secure, guys. Okay, and make sure your plugs are all in as well. And I think it's time to give it a test. Let's get the remote on. Let's turn it on. Right guys, that looks all good to me. It's all working fine, and it's moving quite freely. I'll just move this out of the way. It's moving quite freely in there, so I was worried the extra glue might make the blades a bit too weighty, but it looks alright. That the fan blade that may be scraping against a little bit of the side wall, which I think over time that will disappear. So other than that, I think that's all good. The other fan is working as well, the motor fan. As I said before, the motor fan is available to buy, so that's not an issue. So if you did break a blade on there, you could replace that. This fan here, Spectrum or Horizon Hobbies don't actually supply you just a fan on its own. So I was finding it difficult to get another fan, so this is why I decided to try and repair this one first. If that doesn't repair, then we'd have to buy the same size fan but not a Spectrum one. But it makes life easier if you can just repair. And I said it's always worth just trying to repair something once, and if it doesn't work, then you can always go down the replacement route. So I'll get this turned off so you can hear me. Guys, so the true test for this now is going to be when we take it out for a bash and see how it survives, and see if we break any other fan blades on there. Touch wood, I have taken this out quite a lot, and really this is the only thing that I've broken on the car so far too. So everything's been really good. I mean, in the last bash we did go to a concrete skate park, and it does take some really heavy hits on the ground. Now whether that's down to me putting softer oil into these shocks, so now I'm running 30 weight oil in the shocks as opposed to the stock 40 weight oil, which means that you might be bottoming the chassis out a lot easier. On concrete, on grass it's been superb. It's proper. It's what I wanted to get out of the shock system setup with the 30 weight on grass is superb, so it doesn't kick back up again or anything like that. It just, as soon as you land it, it just plants itself on the floor and carries on. So may try and go for a bit harder, maybe not as hard as 40, but something a bit harder than 30, and try it out and see. I mean, you can always try and see how it goes, really. I test it and see how it goes. Maybe it's because of the softer oil in the shocks is the reason why I may have broken a fan blade on here as well. Although I didn't hear the fan blade break until right at the end of the bash, which we were away from the skate park by then. So guys, please, if you found this video useful, like, subscribe and share, and hopefully you'll see me in the next video when we take this out for a run and we actually give this fan blade mod a test run and see how it goes. And hopefully see you then. See ya.